Back in February, there were a number of high-profile ICE raids done in the Bay Area, in Oakland, California, for instance. And at one point, the Oakland mayor had warned the community that there was another raid coming. And this became a huge story because the Trump administration and Jeff Sessions in particular had claimed that the actions of the mayor had allowed criminals to get away. But it turns out that the spokesperson for ICE at the time had decided to resign because he believed that that narrative was a flat out lie. Now, there was also the issue of who leaked that upcoming raid to the mayor of Oakland. And it looks like the Department of Homeland Security is trying to place that blame on the very spokesperson who decided to quit his job back in March. Now, that former ICE spokesperson is James Schwab, and CBS was interviewing him about this whole story. Why did he quit? Why did he leave? What went on? He said that he felt compelled to resign after the current administration told him to lie about an incident that pitted the government against the Oakland mayor. He said, we ended up arresting 232 people, which is 16% higher than our highest estimates. So internally, that was considered a success. But what they publicly said, meaning the Trump administration, was that she let people go. So to give you an example, Attorney General Jeff Sessions said ICE failed to make 800 arrests because of the mayor's statement. But James Schwab says that is completely untrue. He says completely false. That made me extremely uncomfortable. After they failed to correct it, it's a flat out lie. They know it's a lie. It was just shocking to me that no one wanted to fix that. So he decided to quit as a result of those lies. So he's explaining all of this to the CBS reporter in his own home about what had really occurred. And in the middle of that happening, he gets a surprise visit. Take a look.
We were interrupted by a surprise.
He's a very persistent human being.
He had unexpected visitors at the front door of his home.
I can't speak with you.
Well, why are you guys here?
I can't speak with you about that. But if you...
The men identified themselves as agents from the Department of Homeland Security Inspector General's office.
Is this about the incident
Please
that happened with James?
Are you going to call me?
We're in his home, so I have every right
I'm
to
talking to him. This is confidential, okay?
What was that about?
They just said that they wanted to talk to me about the leak with the Oakland mayor.
Were you surprised to see them?
Completely shocked, unexpected.
Did you ever contact the Oakland mayor's office?
No, I've never met her before. I never contacted
You didn't
Libby
email?
Schwab.
You
I'd
didn't
never
leak any
emailed.
information?
Never. I would never tell her. I would never tell anyone.
So that's strange. Those were agents from the Department of Homeland Security. They show up to his home in the middle of this interview with CBS where he's explaining the reason behind why he quit his job.
Look, I don't know that they did it on purpose, but Schwab thinks that might be the case. He said, why 3 months later are we doing this? This is intimidation, and this is why people won't come out and speak against the government. And look, this is what governments who want to do intimidation do. Oh, you're gonna speak out against us? You're gonna be a whistleblower, or you're gonna be a conscientious objector. I mean, he didn't do whistleblowing. He didn't reveal any secrets.
He just quit his job.
Yeah, he should be the role model for people like Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She voluntarily goes out and lies for the administration every single day. And this guy, when they asked him to lie, he was a spokesperson for ICE. And he's like, I can't, that's not true, and I'm not going to lie. So I'm not gonna do anything where I reveal some government secrets or anything. I'm just not gonna do that job. I'm gonna go get another job because I don't wanna lie for a living. I call that an American hero, and the government thinks that's right. So we gotta make sure that we put an end to it. Send some goons, agents, to his house, put them in brown shirts, white shirts, and make sure that they knock on his door and let him know, okay, you don't get to embarrass us publicly. Well, what did you want me to do? Like, his only other choice was stay in the job and purposely tell people things that he knows is not true. That's right, that's what you do, okay?
Our freedoms and our democracy is deteriorating in front of our very eyes. It's happening right now. All of these arguments about the necessity of guns to prevent tyranny. But we're headed in that direction right now, and those guns aren't protecting us. In fact, those guns are doing nothing more than hurting us and killing us, right? So how does anyone look at a video like that and just see with their plain eyes what the Department of Homeland Security is doing in the middle of this man having an interview with CBS? It was a surprise visit. He was not expecting them. He did not have a meeting with them. There was no appointment. They just happened to show up in the middle of this interview and know what he's talking about?
Yeah, that is a startling coincidence. But even if it's a coincidence.
How is it a coincidence though? How would they know? How would they know what that interview is about?
It might have been that they don't know that there's an interview going on. They just happen to want to talk to him about the leaks at that exact time. But even in that startling coincidence, hypothetical possibility, think about it. You just, all you say is, I don't want to lie for you. And they go, oh, now there's an investigation of you. What's the investigation about? Leak. It's about a leak. I mean, if you're the government, you can do an investigation with no evidence about anything at all. Do you have any evidence that he sent an email to the Oakland mayor? No. Do you have any evidence on anything? No, but I'd like to go bang on his door and show him who's in charge. And what's our investigation about? What do we? Leak, sure, it's about a leak. And next time you point out the truth, it's gonna be consequences. So that's what that knock on the door was, whether they knew CBS was in there or not. And if they knew CBS was in there, which I grant you, Anna, is far, far more likely, that's them putting a knock on all of our doors, saying, oh, now you guys wanna celebrate someone who won't lie for the government? Well, remember, there are consequences. So anybody else in government who won't do our bidding will come for you. Hey, look at that. We sent that message on TV. What a nice break for us. Goons. I thought the Republicans were worried about jackbooted thugs from big government. Now they celebrate them.
Yeah,
because they don't actually have any principles at all. The only thing they believe in is an authoritarian government where some dictator oppresses us all. And why do they ever say about liberals, oh, they just want to control your lives? Projection. Liberals just want to be left alone. They just want equality of opportunity. But what do the Republicans say? Oh, no, they want to control your lives. Go do whatever you're going to do. All the guy wanted to do was go get another job because he didn't want to lie for a living. No, we're going to send big government in there with our agents and tell them, how dare you? And right-wing applauds because they never had any principles at all. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.